Hey guys, Big J here, back again in my creative world here in my theory factory, and it is still under construction. I will hopefully get a little bit more time to work on this and get some more tests set up. I've got a few over here going on, but yeah, today I would like to talk to you guys about tree oil and see if it really is a good source of energy and really how to even get it, because tree oil was a little bit new to me coming back into 1.12 from thermal expansion, and I didn't know how to get it. I heard that it was a good resource. I heard just skip it, so I figured I would take the time to make a video and test it out and see how it is. So and excuse me if I stumble over any words and namings from the thermal expansion mod pack. The way that they name things just gives me a tongue twister every time. So, but hopefully I don't stumble over anything. But I'm just setting the bar low right now. So the first thing to do to get some tree oil is you need this arboreal extractor. And you'll want to put that next to a spruce tree. So what this guy does is every, I believe it's like 30 seconds or so, it will produce 100 millibuckets of resin. So that's pretty slow. Like, we're kind of sitting here watching this to take over. It will happen at one point in time. I don't know if I really want to sit here any longer. Come on. Come on. Is this gonna, oh, there we go. So yeah, so 100. Now that is obviously slow, so like I did here, one of the things you might want to think about is placing 4 of them around a piece of wood or a tree instead of just one, because that isn't going to give you a full bucket of resin until about like a minute. Like, if you do 4 of them, you'll get it in a minute and a half, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I'm always of the sense of to build too many machines and then have some left over, I guess. Another thing you could think about is using some of this phyto grow. Now, this is in thermal expansion as well. It's not too expensive to make. You do need slag though, which is something you'll get from an induction smelter. So it'll be a little bit, mid-game at least, when you can kind of start getting this stuff. And then to get rich phyto, you can get rich slag, which is relatively hard to do, like in my opinion, or you can use sap and put it in a fluid transposer. That's the easy one. How did I mess that one up? And it will turn it into that with 200 millibuckets, and the arboreal extractor will give you sap if you put it next to an oak tree. It'll only give you 50, so it'll be 2 minutes to give you enough sap to produce 1 piece of rich phyto. And then the flux phyto is this put into an energy infuser, and you just get that. So you say, well, what does this even mean? Well, just to point out that these are blue, which means that they're devices. So in thermal expansion, there's devices, and then there are machines. And machines draw power, so they use power. Devices don't. So this thing here, it just takes time, but it'll just sit here, and over time, it'll just produce things. So the aqueous accumulator is a device compared to a machine. I don't... Do they still have autonomous activators? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they do. That is a device. Oh, well, that's a good question. Hold on. Sorry, I don't mean to get distracted. Maybe that's not in here. See, I'm still way behind. I'm learning as I go here. But anyway, because this doesn't use any energy or any kind of fuel source, what you can do to help make this go faster is put a piece of phyto in, or you can put some of the rich in. Or if you have extra time and energy to put it in, you can put some of the flux. So now we will need to wait a second. And to be honest, I'm trying to figure out, and I'm working on a setup to see how to just produce the phyto grow, because the phyto grow can be used in a lot of different things and produce some really cool stuff. So this one had the phyto. grow, just the plain old basic one, and that gives us 2 times. So that means for the course of this burning, it will give us 200 millibuckets instead of 100. And then we go to 3 times, that's 300 instead of 100. And then, as you guys could guess, it's 4 times with the fluxed phytogrow. So, I don't know if you'll ever really need to do this or want to do this. If you're making a crazy big tree oil energy system, maybe you do, maybe you will. So doesn't really matter. Either way, I just wanted to show that to you guys so that you can make it produce more. So it's not going to produce any quicker. So it's still going to take 30 seconds per operation, but it'll at least give you double, triple, quadruple the amount in that time. So, kind of makes up for that being so slow. Anyway, once you get the resin, you take the resin and you pipe it in, or you put it in a bucket and you put it into this fractionating still. So this is a resonant one, but I don't have any augmentations in it. It's just, that's how I spawned it in. And 100 millibuckets of resin give you 50 millibuckets of tree oil, and then it gives you a 75% chance to get rosin. Now rosin, you could actually use it for another fuel source. You can, oops, that's not what I wanted to hit. Use, there we go. You can burn it in like a steam dynamo, and it'll give you 8,000 RF per piece of rosin that you put in there to burn up. So you could always kind of use that as a little bit of a way to get some extra benefits from using tree oil as your energy source. And then you could also use it for this aqua chow, which goes into another device called I can't find it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's basically just a auto fisher. So there's a few things. You can also use it in the way that slime is used. So you can use it on sticky pistons and making leads and so on and so forth. So so it's not that bad to get, but if you get it started stacking it up and you have a bunch of it, you might as well either burn it for energy or figure out another use for it. So and that will give you tree oil. So you directly are going from resin to tree oil, which is nice that there's only one step to do. You don't have to go through a bunch of different crazy steps to give you the fuel that you're going to be burning. Now, if you think about it, and this is kind of the math behind it, if you're getting 50 millibuckets of tree oil per operation, it's going to take you 20 of those to give you 1 full bucket. And I'm using a bucket as my unit of like my standard unit to test with, because it's just the standard Minecraft unit in my opinion. It's like a foot if you're in America, or a meter if you're everywhere else in the world. So for that, you are going to be doing 10 or 20 operations, and then it takes 5,000 RF for one operation. So 20 times 5,000 is 100,000 RF. So it takes 100,000 RF to give you 1 bucket of tree oil. And that might seem like a lot. That might be pretty shocking numbers, especially if you're coming off of using a steam dynamo with coal, or some really early game stuff like I talked about in my last episode of Theory Factory. However, and using this in a compression dynamo, when you put water in on one side and the oil in on the other, and this is just a basic dynamo, no upgrades, no nothing, it gave me 1 million RF. So your net gain is 900,000 RF from using 1 bucket. And I believe it used 4 buckets or 4 buckets of water or something like that. I can't particularly recall how many buckets I put in with this, but when it comes to water, I figured that you'll have an aqueous accumulator anyway. So just get something that will produce water infinitely and pipe it into this guy. Now, when it comes to an upgraded compression dynamo, all the way up to resonant, and including 4 fuel catalyzers. Yeah, I said it right. Which are actually pretty cheap, and I would suggest always making these for your dynamos as you are increasing them and upgrading them, because it literally just gives you more energy is being produced by the fuel. So, I think that's pretty cool. So, with this being stacked up with 4 of them, and with 1 bucket of tree oil, it gave us 1.6 million RF. So we're getting 1.5 million RF per bucket of tree oil. And that's not too shabby. That's pretty awesome. And then as a test, just to kind of clarify to myself, because this is producing it out at 120 RF per tick compared to 40. If you upgrade it to resonant and don't put any upgrades in it, it still gives you the same amount. I knew this, but I was like, I better test it just to make sure. I didn't trust myself, basically. But yeah, 1.5 million RF. That is a lot of energy, considering you're just letting some machines slowly but surely collect like resin for you, and then all you have to do is put it into a still and let it do one operation. So in my opinion, I think this is a pretty awesome fuel source, reusable or renewable, I should say, fuel source. And I would definitely think that this is I don't know about early to mid game energy source that you could really expand upon and have an easy time producing a lot of energy with it. So I might actually go through and test out like some kind of setup that instantly kind of cycles the stuff through, and I don't know, just do some crazy stuff with this, because I think this is just really cool. It's nice again to have some kind of green energy that isn't based off of solar. Oops, sorry. And but yeah, that's about it. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the numbers and show you how to get tree oil, because I needed to learn myself, and I hope this was helpful to just maybe even one person. That'd be great. So either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos like this, and I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you guys later.